flowing golden wheat. But Iowa wants to be known for more than just being agricultural. The capital, Des Moines, is right in the center of the state. It's a city looking for metropolitan status, wanting to be big league. This week, it enters the big leagues of auto racing, playing host to the Ruan Grand Prix. The heartbeat of America comes to the heartland as Corvette Challenge race number 5 comes to Des Moines. Up to this point, the Valley Chevrolet team has won every race. The rest of the pack will be chasing Bill Cooper and his team through the streets of Des Moines. ESPN, the world leader in motorsports coverage, presents round 5 of the Corvette Challenge.
Welcome to downtown Des Moines, where it is hot. Now, this is a brand new course, and as a street circuit, it's going through the normal curing and growing pains that you might expect. Now, add in the factors of this intense heat, plus the fact that you have a racing surface that changes from blacktop to concrete several times, and you have a racetrack that could get kind of dicey by the time this race is over. This track already broke up a little bit on Friday. It's going to require intense concentration and precise skill on behalf of the drivers. And now for the call of today's race. Back up top in the booth is Jim Paulson and John Powell.
No question, we are feeling the warmth here, and I wonder about track surface here in Des Moines, John. Going to be a hot one today.
You know, you're absolutely right. This is the first race where I can truly say that the person that wins this race will have shown true discipline. At this racetrack in this heat, it is possible to drive the car so hard you tear up the track, you overheat the tires, you'll overheat the engine coolant, put too much temperature into the engine oil, so the driver will have to drive within his limits and the car's limits. And Jim, if it's hot for you and I, imagine what it's like behind the wheel of a Corvette at 100 miles an hour in 100-degree heat in Iowa.
You know, we mentioned the Valley Chev domination. I wonder if that will end in Des Moines. We'll check with some of the drivers here and see what they think.
I don't know, maybe they're buying different Corvettes than we're getting. No, I tell you, Doug Rippey and the crew are just, they've been together for a long time. They're really sharp. We've got a terrific crew, too. They've got drivers that have worked together before, and it is a team effort.
I'm sure someone will catch them as the preparations become more close together. I even plan to catch them toward the end of the season after I learn a few of their tricks. They are one of the best teams out here. You cannot knock them for winning 4 races. You've got to tell everybody that that is the best team out here.
This is Bruce Feldman, Valley Chevrolet's new boy, who has never won a Corvette Challenge race.
Here's the front row for the start in Des Moines. Out of Canada, for the Sony Racing Team, Peter Lockhart has never won a Corvette race. Bruce Feldman beside him looking for that Valley victory today.
In row 2, Boris Said is another teammate of Peter Lockhart, and beside him, Shawn Hendricks for Valley Chevrolet.
Bill Cooper's had a good 1989. Can he do it again in Des Moines? He's back in the 3rd row. Beside him, the fast man in qualifying, Scott Lagasse, and Scott needs a victory too, John.
Scott driving for EDS as we look at the grid, getting ready for the start. They don't need to warm their cars up for this one. This is going to be a scorcher, and Peter Lockhart's car, covered in flames, sure tells the story of this race.
One little change further back in the grid, John. Andy Evans smacked up his car in qualifying. He's sitting in for John Huber in car number 28 today. The Corvette Challenge is brought to you by the heartbeat of America. Today, Chevrolet and Exxon. Precision products for precision engine.
A new and exciting innovation in the car washing industry has come to Des Moines. Touchless of Hickman. We at Touchless get your car, truck, or van sparkling clean without ever touching it. Water and detergents are automatically dispensed at precise angles. Our new technology is designed to give you better results while we protect the finish of your vehicle. Our staff is here to help get your vehicle thoroughly clean, quickly and conveniently. We're open 7 days a week to serve you. Try the ultra-modern car wash, Touchless of Hickman, today.
Hi, I'm Max Holmes, and I want to talk to you about selection. A lot of dealers are claiming to have the area's largest inventory, but let me just say this. We've got more than $10 million worth of cars, trucks, and vans in stock at 5 new car showrooms and 5 used car lots. both here at I-35 in Hickman and downtown on 6th Avenue. That's more than 1,100 vehicles in stock, but the only one that counts is the one you want. It's just that you're more likely to find it where you have the most choice.
Financial security. To achieve it these days takes extra effort. At Brandt & Banks, we understand. That's why when it comes to helping you achieve financial success, you'll find Brandt & products, services, and our people make the extra effort it takes.
Extra effort expected from Brandt.
Go for a joyride at the Iowa State Fair. Now 12 great days and nights, August 16th through the 27th. So come often for a good time every time.
You're watching Heritage Cable Television.
We're back, Jim. Look at the crowd from Des Moines, ready for a little Chevy Thunder.
Oh, they feel that thunder through the streets of Des Moines for the first time ever, John. A lot of excitement about this inaugural event here.
They're in good order, Jim, as they come to the flag, and we have a green, the battle of the teams. The Sony cars are on the inside, and on the outside, Valley Chevrolet. Peter Lockhart nudges Feldman, and he's on the inside and away, and look at the back.
You know, Boris Said did a little nudging on his own there and has pulled beautifully into third overall. He's now holding off Cooper of all things, John.
Lockhart's clean, and it's Feldman away, and Boris Said behind him as we look through the handicam inside Boris's car. Boy, it is close. Feldman's all over Lockhart as we see Boris Said's view of this race. And a little bit hung out. Already these cars are getting just a little bit squirrely through the streets of Des Moines.
Look at the way they take these 90-degree corners, John. They bump right up against that concrete. That looks very, very close, but they're all handling it beautifully. Peter Lockhart now a car length or two ahead of Feldman.
You know, these drivers, look at there. We have Hendricks and Cooper making a move on each other. These are teammates. Somebody should tell them. Not yet, guys. They've got a whole hour of racing, Jim. It's going to take a lot of discipline to keep it cool.
Man, right on that, we got to watch too, and that is Scott Lagasse, just a little further back, but he's not going to gamble this early, I guess, John, and try to fight his way past that Valley duo.
That white car is Andy Pilgrim pulling out, trying to get by Mark Behm. Will he make it? Nope. Behm keeps it. It's very, very tight. These drivers have to keep the cars cool. If you look, here is Feldman trying to get by Lockhart, and behind him is Boris Said. And then two red cars. That's Cooper and Hendricks, and Lagasse in the white car is all over Hendricks.
You know, they've tried the best they can in Des Moines to lay out the odd bit of straightaway, John, so the guys can get a little bit of speed up, and this is an example of it right now as we see Pilgrim trying to make another move here. Let's go in Andy's car.
Behind him is Tommy Riggins. Look at Riggins closing up on Pilgrim. This rear view taken with a Sony handicap. Oh, and Riggins get a little bit sideways, and that sideways stuff cost these drivers time.
You know, Tommy is beginning to make a move in this series and becoming very serious. There he is. He's going to try the outside. Sort of bobbing back and forth. Oh, and Andy makes a nice pass.
Pilgrim has passed Mark Behm, and now you see in the front of your screen Cooper moving off to one side, trying to get by.
Now, let's have a look at this course. John, we'll throw the map up here, show you how it's laid out. The start-finish line up on Crocker Street here in Des Moines, a 90-degree left turn onto 5th Street, another 90-degree left onto Park.
Two quick rights onto 4th, and then onto Keogh Way, back onto 5th, and left again onto Grand Avenue. Then it's right onto 3rd Street.
Now it's a left, John, past the Civic Center onto Locust, across the Des Moines River. You double back on Grand Avenue, right onto 2nd Avenue, then a final left on Crocker, back to the start-finish line.
This could be any street in America, but we are back in Des Moines, and it's the Sony flame-painted cars leading here. Lockhart over Feldman, followed by Boris Said in the second team car. These two team cars of Lockhart and Said challenging the Valley Chevrolet domination in the two red cars. And the top of your screen, it's Riggins and Behm side by side as they go into the corner. I think they touch. Riggins takes it away.
In fact, Behm just backs off a little bit there. Obviously wants to finish the race, and Willy Lewis in the yellow art car right behind him, John.
The race is 1 hour, Jim. They've got to make the cars last. Take a look at Cooper. He keeps pulling out of the airstream directly behind the car to cool the car off. In fact, Jim, the heat may be the story of this race. Let's talk to Larry Newber.
This is the hottest Corvette Challenge race of the year so far. The temperature at race time was 95 degrees and still climbing. And one SCCA official told me the track temperature was 130 degrees. It may not be a race that goes to the swiftest driver in the early laps. Keep that in mind.
Can Peter Lockhart hang on? He is currently leading, the young Canadian, a brilliant race driver. How is he handling the heat?
Well, the cars are designed to run hot, but hot is hot. And today we're in the high 90s, and we all were enjoying some pretty high engine fluid temperatures. But frankly, the drivers don't feel it that much. You know, you're concentrating on staying off the walls, you're concentrating on learning the circuit, and it's only when we stop that we feel the heat.
He may be feeling the heat. Look at Kendall inside his Exxon Keith Young Chevrolet car. The GM Techline display shows us speed here. 55, 60 miles an hour down the streets of Des Moines, almost 70. And look, he's down to second gear as he turns through. He is chasing Stu Hayner.
In fact, doing a smooth job of it. They don't get beyond that third gear very often on this course, of course, John, and the speeds don't get that high, but Tommy Kendall handling this course nicely. Tries a pass here.
He passes Stu Hayner, and not so fast, 90 miles an hour down the streets of Des Moines, and look at this consummate professional driving. Look how lightly he grips the steering wheel, how smoothly he drives through the corner, his matching of the gear revs when he goes down the gearbox. Lots of shifts here with that ZF 6-speed gearbox. Boy, a 90 miles an hour again. This is insane.
And Tommy Kendall handling it beautifully, getting it a lot of track time here since he is also running the Trans Am event, of course, this weekend in Des Moines.
That's a big advantage for Tommy Kendall. Driving a Trans Am Beretta gets twice as much track time as anybody else as he leads the EDS car of Stu Hayner. Boy, Tommy is good, and that car looks good. Mark Behm also doing very, very well.
You know who's coming into view here, too, is Lou Gigliotti. Did you see that right behind Willy Lewis? Look out for Lou here.
Lou Gigliotti in the number 2 Texas car. A beautiful job.
Oh, pit stop. In fact, this is the car. We mentioned this ride being picked up by Andy Evans in number 28, and he's got a problem, John.
We'll find out later what that problem is as Lockhart leads. And look at the heat shimmering in the pavement. It is hot. Lockhart doing such a great job for Canada today.
In mid-screen, we watch Scott Legacy screaming by Shawn Hendricks, and in fact, Pilgrim gets by as well. Shawn seems to be dropping off in here, John.
You can see from the in-car shot here, there's something wrong.
The in-car goes off.
Very wrong. We're stopped. Wrong way. He needs a road map. Poor man, you don't back up in Des Moines in the middle of a Corvette challenge race.
So look at this, almost back into the tires. There's Shawn Hendricks' car. He's disabled off to the left-hand side, John.
I think Hendricks' race is run, but Lockhart is still leading, followed by Feldman, Said in the other Sony Flame car, and a brilliant Bill Cooper.
You know Bill Cooper will not let them get away. Look at this. Out of the pit row comes Andy Evans one more time. Andy now leads the leaders around the track in Des Moines. We'll be back with more race action right after this break.
Your Central Iowa Chevy dealers invite you to take a power trip in full-size Chevy pickups that blow away the competition. In horsepower, better mileage, more room, more muscle. Move over, Ford. Central Iowa is taking the Chevy power trip. Take a look at Beretta. Better V6 performance than Chrysler LeBaron. More leg room and seating than Toyota Celica. Better mileage than Ford's Tempo or Probe. Take a look at your best sporty compact buy. Beretta from your Central Iowa Chevy dealers.
The Knoxville Raceway, sprint car capital of the world and home of the Nationals, brings you another season of exciting racing. Every week you can be part of the action of sprint car racing at Knoxville Raceway. Hot laps begin at 7:30, races start at 8. Be there just for the fun of it, all summer long.
This Saturday's race brought to you by KNIA.
There's so much to see and do at the fair that you can't do it all in just one day. So come often, August 16th through the 27th, for a good time every time.
You're watching Heritage Cable Television.
We're back on the streets of Des Moines. It's round 5 of the Corvette Challenge. Andy Evans' car in front, but these are the race leaders led by Peter Lockhart.
Boris Said making a move on car number 5. Feldman, I think Sony is going to put it away. Car 10. And now the Valley Chevrolet team domination may be broken. Let's talk to Boris Said's crew chief.
What special preparations did you make for the cars to survive today?
Well, yesterday the cars were running real hot, so we relocated the oil coolers up forward in front of the radiator rather than behind the radiator, so it gets fresher air sooner. We also pulled out the air conditioning condenser, so that lets a lot more air flow through.
Another factor that people don't realize is that to keep the engines cool, the drivers run with the heaters blowing full blast, don't they? This thermometer is on the pit wall, separating the paying customers from the people down here in pit road. It looks above 114 degrees, and guess what? It's still rising. This was pulled out of the shade about 5 minutes ago. Already it was at 100 degrees, and as it's been sitting out here in the pit wall, it's continued to rise and is now approaching 116 degrees in the air. I've been covering motor racing for about 20 years, and this is the single highest temperature that I ever recall recording.
This may be a surprise, Jim. The two Sony cars are pulling away from the Valley Chevrolet team cars of Feldman, car number 5, Bill Cooper, number 3, and behind them, Scott Lagasse in car number 17 in the EDS white car. This is the battle to watch.
You know, this may be where the Valley Chev domination ends here in the streets of Des Moines. I tell you, this team are looking strong. Oh, no, here comes a pass.
And it's Boris Said passing Peter Lockhart, so the team continues to lead, only the order has changed.
No, Peter will not let him get by. And look at this, they are side by side. No, Boris doesn't. He takes him on the inside. He's got Lockhart, John.
That's a great move by Boris Said. You'll notice the car twitching a little bit under braking, and you know the ABS brakes of these Corvettes help them stabilize when you attempt a daring pass like that. And Boris Said now has to get by Andy Evans, who is leading, but a lap down. 2 laps, in fact. But look at Cooper. He's still hanging back, pulling out into the clean air, trying to keep his car cool, but he's got to make sure that he doesn't leave a hole for Legacy.
You know, I've got an idea here that Scott is about to make a move. He's sort of been bobbing back and forth there. You get the impression that he's trying to figure some way he can get by Feldman and Cooper and have a go at the flame that is leading this battle in Des Moines.
And Cooper, as he keeps on pulling out, is tantalizing Legacy, who sees the hole and he feels that he should go into. But there he goes again. Cooper drawing in the cool air, keeping that motor cool. Boy, he is smart.
Let's go inside Scott Legacy's car here, and this is his vantage point, looking at some of Cooper's boys just in front.
It's Cooper very, very close to Feldman, as those two Sony cars are just pulling a little bit away. Cooper really...
Oh, I think he almost kissed that wall there, John. They're getting so tight on that concrete.
Very, very tight. Scott doing an excellent job here, but boy, getting a little bit loose, occasionally heating the tires up, getting a little over-anxious. This is a game of discipline.
Here's Scott now. He's going to make a move on the outside. He should take Cooper here. He does. In fact, diving into the goal. No, over does it, John. It's a Feldman.
Boy, they are both hit the wall very, very hard. Let's have a look at the replay from inside. He gets beside Cooper. Clean break. But now he seems not to slow down. Boy, what? How? A tremendous impact. And then the camera can't even keep up with this as they back into the wall.
Let's have another view of this.
Again.
Okay, one more time here, John. This is unbelievable. Very low line for Scott, and he powers right into Feldman there. Hard to
look at the wall.
Oh,
that
boy.
retaining wall is absorbing enormous impact. Jim, you got to say this is tough on equipment when you hit the wall, but the whole race is tough on the drivers and the cars.
And you know, with the pace car out, tires have got to be a factor in this race, which in fact is today's subject of our True Sports Track Fact. Track Facts is brought to you by True Sports, the official choice of the Corvette Challenge.
Like in all motor racing, the tires are a significant factor. And in Corvette Challenge racing, it's not for exactly the traditional reasons. Let's take a look and see how it applies to this aspect of the sport. First of all, this tire here is a tire used for Trans Am racing. It is a purebred racing tire. It's a slick. And as such, the pedestrians among us don't really know why it goes fast. It's a black art. Only the factory knows for sure. But as a racing tire slick, it's subject to wear, and frankly, it's a reasonably vulnerable tire. In Corvette racing, this is what is required. Originally a street tire designed to go 40,000 miles, the compound is much harder. Fact is, it's a rock. Track temperatures here at Des Moines will approach 130 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's bring in John Powell, the director of this series. And John, Exactly what will the drivers be facing using this very tricky Corvette street tire?
Well, I think it's quite interesting. Look at the difference. The Trans Am tire is 14 inches wide. The Corvette tire is 11 inches wide. 15 years ago, a Corvette tire was 8 inches wide, maybe. This is a remarkable tire using some race technology, but the one significant difference here is that all the drivers have exactly the same tire. So as the track gets so hot, the driver is capable of driving his Corvette faster than the brakes and the tires can hold the car up. And that says nothing wrong about the tire, but what it says a lot right about the driver. Which driver can be the most disciplined, to be the most consistent, to conserve the traction of his Goodyear Eagles.
And what the drivers tell me is that running a Corvette is like driving a Trans Am car with very well-used tires. Well, because of the tires, we could have some very well-used fenders by race's end today.
We're back with the pace car, leading Boris Said, who for the first time, in fact, is leading a Corvette Challenge. He brings the field around. They're getting set for a green. We should be back to the action. Let's go inside Boris's car. Here we are back at the accident scene with Feldman and Lagasse. And
Jim, you hear that? The in-car camera is picking up a sputtering sound. There's something wrong.
Away here.
The field goes by. Leader Boris Said, that's not fair. What heartbreak for Boris Said. He's out of the race on the yellow flag. We'll be back for the restart.
Car Sound has installed more than 20,000 audio systems. They're the experts. Car Sound offers you radar detectors, alarm systems, audio systems by JVC, AudioVox, Jensen, Pile Driver, Alpha Sonic, Precision Power, AutoPage, and Whistler, and now Cellular One telephones. Car Sound has the trained personnel and special tools to fit your audio needs with the interior design of your car. After 20,000 installations, we're ready to install a system in whatever it is you drive. Come to where experience and low rates sound better. Call the professionals at Car Sound Installation.
Financial security. To achieve it these days takes extra effort. At Brandt & Banks, we understand. That's why when it comes to helping you achieve financial success, you'll find Brandt & products, services, and our people make the extra effort it takes.
Extra effort expected from Brandt.
pace car carrying a new race leader in the form of Peter Lockhart right behind Andy Evans' car here. But Lockhart, in fact, now leads this event, John.
That's right. Boris Said terrible misfortune. And as they go to the green up the hill, they're already spread out. And Lockhart around Evans right away. And Cooper, Riggins right up beside them.
They are
three abreast.
Side by side. Oh,
Cooper. Oh, I can't believe it. Cooper's so fortunate, so skillful to get through that. And Riggins, man to watch in third place. And look at that. There's Gigliotti on the far side of your screen. Car number 2 trying to get by Mark Behm, loses 3 positions. Boy, this is a 12-lap sprint to the finish.
I tell you, here's Willy Lewis, of course, in the art car in the middle of the whole fray. And
Kendall's right up there, too, in car 92, the young Chevrolet car.
it's a whole new Corvette Challenge Part B here in Des Moines with Feldman, Lagasse set out of it. In fact, we now have Scott Lagasse along pit row.
I picked up the brake pedal with my right foot, as I always do. I heel and toe the car, and my foot slipped off the brake when I was trying to make a pass on Cooper, and straight into the throttle. And by the time I picked the brake back up, it was just too late. I was carrying too much speed in the corner, and it just too bad for Bruce. He's okay, but bad break for him.
I was trying to run a nice steady race, and I was situated in third position, trying to keep my temperatures down, waiting to charge a little bit at the second half if I needed to. And Scott said he got his foot caught under the brake and hit me, and I'm out. So that's it.
Jim, we're happy they're both unhurt and ready to go again next race. Did you know it's so darn hot? I don't wonder Legacy's foot slipped off the brake.
Okay, here we are now with our new race with Peter Lockhart out of Canada leading this, and of course Cooper dogging him all the way.
Inside goes Cooper. He takes the lead. What's it going to take? The Valley Chevrolet team are leading once again.
I think when anybody else does a good a job as our team's doing as a whole, that then they're going to be really knocking on our door, and it'll just make us have to work harder, and maybe they'll get us.
I don't know that Peter Lockhart wants him to get away, but he's already pulled away by a car length or two here, John.
This is, whoa, Riggins inside Lockhart. Lockhart down to third. Riggins is now second. Can you believe that, Jim? He started seventh, dropped to ninth on the first lap, and now Riggins is up to second. He is much improved.
I'm really getting to where I enjoying this racing with these guys. I'm understanding their style of racing, and I'm understanding these Corvettes a little better. And I'm looking forward to the rest of the series, but starting right here.
In the last lap, we're watching Lou Gigliotti here in number 2, and he has got Stu Hayner, the reigning Corvette Challenge champion, all over him. Oh, look at this. Almost a bump going into that corner, John.
That wasn't very nice, but Gigliotti and Hayner are duking it out, struggling for 5th place. Can Gigliotti save it? Hayner tries to go around him. Gigliotti holds the inside line, and I think he's going to, yes, he's going to keep it through that corner.
You know, we haven't seen this man out of Texas driving with such a vengeance in this entire series up until this point, John. He wants it on this lap.
Lou Gigliotti is doing a great job today, keeping off Stu Hayner. What a battle as they go to the flag here.
Stu gives him one more shot as they come up to this corner, but no, Lou cuts in a little shorter and, in fact, cuts Stu off.
And there's Bill Cooper. Bill Cooper leads this race. He has preserved his car. He has more car at the end of the race, and he takes the checker. What a... words can't say enough about Bill Cooper.
Isn't that something? Cooper is coming through with a strong force in 1989.
Tommy Riggins, a great job for second. Look at Lou Gigliotti clapping his hands in joy. He put away 5th place. Peter Lockhart in 3rd, and in 4th place, car number 4, Mark Behm.
Financial security. To achieve it these days takes extra effort. At Brandt & Banks, we understand. That's why when it comes to helping you achieve financial success, you'll find Brandt & products, services, and our people make the extra effort it takes.
Extra effort expected from Brandt.
Announcing First Aid for first-time car buyers. Get a $600 allowance on any new Geo, Spectrum, Metro, or Prism. Use the $600 as a down payment on your Geo at selected Central Iowa Chevy dealers. That's First Aid for first-time Geo buyers. Check out the Chevy S10, the compact pickup with big power over the competition, more horsepower, better mileage, and more cargo and trailering capacity. Test drive an S10, Central Iowa's best-selling compact pickup at your Central Iowa Chevy dealer.
A new and exciting innovation in the car washing industry has come to Des Moines, Touchless of Hickman. We at Touchless get your car, truck, or van sparkling clean without ever touching it. Water and detergents are automatically dispensed at precise angles. Our new technology is designed to give you better results while we protect the finish of your vehicle. Our staff is here to help get your vehicle thoroughly clean, quickly and conveniently. We're open 7 days a week to serve you. Try the ultra-modern car wash, Touchless of Hickman, today.
We're back with the Corvette Challenge in Des Moines. The win goes to this man, Bill Cooper. 3 victories in a row this year, John.
In the $1 million Corvette Challenge, Cooper has already won more money in 5 races than he won the entire 1988 season.
The conditions, Bill, your biggest opponent in this race?
Yeah, I think so. The heat sort of got us all, and the track started breaking up, and it seemed like longer than an hour.
You know, you're getting this down because this is the 3rd one in a row. The other 2 have come from starting up front, but you had to work for this one.
Well, I just tried to use my head and not make any mistakes myself and stay out of trouble, and some of the other people got in trouble, and I got the benefit of their mistakes.
Well, you know, early on in the race, I was setting the pace, and setting the pace on a street circuit has to be the toughest thing to do. I guess that maybe I was setting too tough a pace. We had set the car up a little bit like Detroit. This place is a little rougher than Detroit. I think things started to go away, and I started to make mistakes, and these boys have good eyes.
This is Victory Circle, and you're looking at the best of America in the Corvette Challenge.
It's been a great race in the heartland of America from Des Moines, Iowa. For Larry Newber and John Powell, I'm Jim Paulson. This Corvette Challenge on ESPN brought to you by Goodyear, because there really is a difference. And
Mid-American design. Join us for round 6 of the Corvette Challenge from the Meadowland.
Welcome to the Sports Page Restaurant, a winning team featuring fine food and 24-hour family dining. Our delicious salad and fruit bar is a meal in itself or complements our tasty entrees. And you'll savor every bite of our fresh homemade pies. Be sure to stop by the Sports Page this weekend and choose from our fabulous breakfast, lunch, and dinner bar, all fully stocked with delicious homemade food, all you care to eat for one low price. Try the Sports Page Restaurant, Humboldt University.
Hi, I'm Chuck Hemmingson, and that's me winning the Des Moines Grand Prix Race Truck Challenge on my Nissan Hardbody truck. You can drive a winner too when you buy a Nissan truck from the #1 team at Hummel's Nissan.
Now at Hummel's, you can drive out in a new Nissan Standard truck starting as low as $64.99, or save up to $2,000 on a King Cap 6-cylinder 4x4. And see the new Chuck Hemmingson Autograph Series truck now at Hummel's Nissan.
Get a great deal from Iowa's #1 Nissan dealer, Hummel's Nissan.
ESPN, the world leader in motorsports coverage, presents Speed World. Welcome to the streets of downtown Des Moines, where for the first time in history, the Sports Car Club of America is conducting a series of races this weekend. The weather is 92 climbing degrees, humidity at 85, there's not a cloud in the sky, and in a word, it is hot. There is no chance of rain, that is, unless you don't count perspiration. Practice has already begun here. You can hear it going on behind me. The Super B cars, one of 4 divisions racing here this weekend. We are actually broadcasting the Race Truck Challenge. Now, let me bring in my broadcasting colleague, Willie T. Ribbs. Willie, a street circuit is at best a temporary course, and it is murder on equipment.
Larry, it's hard on equipment, it's hard on drivers. This heat here is really tough. It's crock pot hot, but Des Moines, Iowa is truck country, and you can't carry hogs in the back of a Cadillac, so we're in the right place.
Okay, Willie. Well, our colleague down in the pits today is the editor and publisher of National Speed Sport News, Chris Economaki, and he is going to tell us, yeah, these are trucks racing, but not just your ordinary pickup truck.
Special is the word, Larry, for these pickup trucks. The sticker on them when you buy them, about $7,000. Takes another $7,000 to make them safe and speedy. Beefed up suspensions, safety roll cage inside, and in the back of the rear deck here, a safety fuel cell installation. We had hoped that the driver of this truck, Chuck Hemmingson, a local man who won the pole position, could come by and chat with us. But it's so hot that Hemmingson and all of his co-drivers are in an air-conditioned room waiting for this 50-mile race to get underway. Let's watch and see how Chuck Hemmingson does from 6th position. Larry?
We'll be back with the starting lineup of today's Race Truck Challenge from a very hot downtown Des Moines, Iowa, after these words.
If you're into good-looking trucks, then drive on into Pickup City, USA and put your pickup, 4x4, or van in our hands. Come on in, take a look at our showroom of accessories, and talk to our staff. We'll show you just how much more you'll enjoy driving your vehicle. We've got it all, from toppers to running boards to suspension systems. Then it's on to our quick and expert installation, and you're on your way in style. Pickup City, USA.
If you're hankering for high energy heaving and hauling, see the Supernational Truck and Tractor Bulls, plus Monster Trucks, August 23rd and 24th at the Iowa State Fair.
Scratches your skin for a...
You're watching Heritage Cable Television.
This weekend marks a significant time in the racing history of this state. The capital city is Des Moines, Iowa, where we are located. And for years, the state of Iowa was known as dirt track country. At one time, there were more dirt tracks in this state than any other state in the Union. But all that has changed. You see Des Moines in the central part of the state. Here is a layout of the course going right to the downtown, Willie. And it's an interesting one because we're right in the heart of the matter here.
Yeah, Larry, we start off with turn 1 at a hard 90-degree corner.
down to turn 2, another hard 90 degree, a short straight, back to another 90 degree, and we just 90, 90, 90s, 11 90s.
This little section right here, turns 2, 3, and 4, is very similar to one in Detroit, which goes underneath the parking garages of one of the big hotels. Now, there are 5 semi-straightaways on this course, and as we go south and head through turn 7 and turn 8, we're headed for the first one and going across the river.
Yeah, and with all these tight corners, brakes are going to be the key in this race.
As you go across the river and turn number 9, turn number 10, and head back up, Willie, that turn right there is greater than 90 degrees.
That's the 120-degree corner we have here.
And if there were a backstretch on this course, it would be that one right there going past the Iowa Power Company and pretty much running along the Des Moines River. And that is the layout of the 1.8-mile course here in downtown Des Moines. Now, the race trucks have moved out on the course. They're all lined up, ready to go. And here is the starting lineup for today's Race Truck Challenge. On the pole in car number 19, truck number 19, Steve Saline. It is a Ford. And on the outside is Pepe Pombo from Norcross, Georgia, driving a Nissan. In the second row from Duluth, Minnesota, one of the stars of this series since its inception, Tommy Archer driving a Jeep Comanche, and he is flanked by Calvin Fish. In the third row is Ray Kong, and in the fourth row, make that on the outside of the third row, is Loco Chuck Hemmingson. He was actually the fastest qualifier. The first 6 cars are inverted to start this contest. In the fourth row is truck number 9, Scott Gaylord, and Bobby Archer, the brother of Tommy. In the fifth row, R.K. Smith and Myron Kroll, cars numbers 31 and 77. And in the sixth row, Paul Brandt and Mark German. That is another one of the Archer teammates. In the seventh row is truck number 2 in a Nissan driven by Don Markham and Robert Stewart from Illinois, another Nissan. And in the 8th and final row, from Geneva, Illinois, in an Isuzu, Mark Dysert and Harvey Clark. That number 10 is a Chevrolet, the only Chevy in the field. Willie, the Nissans have really dominated the entry list here. Many of the drivers have found that's simply the way to go in this race truck challenge.
Yeah, well, Nissan's done a great job. They're strong in GTP. They're strong in the trucks. And, you know, they're doing their homework. And they're showing up, and they intend to win if they can.
Now, for the first 2 years of this series, a Jeep has been the manufacturer's champion, mostly because of the Archers. Tommy and Bobby have done very well. Now, Chris Economaki, as you know, is with us on this broadcast. He is standing by with an observation.
Well, you know, Larry, it's interesting. There's 16 cars in the race, and 10 of them are factory supported. There you go.
They come off of turn number 12, and the green flag is out, and jumping to an early lead is Pepe Pombo. He outpowers his Holton, Steve Saline, and Pombo leads through turn number 1.
That was the trick. You know, I knew Pombo was going to be on the gas as soon as he could to get by Saline and try to get himself clear and get a good run. This is a street track, and past him.
Oh, and Saline is spinning. The number 2 truck is spinning and taking out several behind him. This is really going to scramble the standings. Steve Saline, who went into turn number 3 running in second, spins out in front of the entire field.
Larry, that was good for Pombo because that got a chance to get everybody off the gas, and he got a little break and he's got a little cushion now.
Pepe Pombo leads the race, and now moving up to second place already is our fast qualifier, and Saline is still fighting the wheel. Is that he again? It looks like a yellow Ranger. Yes, it is. It's Steve Saline is really having a bad first lap. Something must be wrong with that truck because every time he accelerates coming out of a corner, it gets out of control.
Yeah, Saline's looked like he's got more than a wheel loose there. Something's drunk in the back of the car.
It is indeed. Well, we will replay that accident. They moved into turn number 3, I think it happened. Now, Saline is the yellow truck on the right-hand side.
Yeah, he's going down the inside, and he looks like everything's normal, but then he looks like he got in a little bit hot, and rear brakes locked up, and around he went.
The number 33 truck there is Tommy Archer. Tommy is the all-time leading winner also on the street circuits in a truck.
And both Archers got blocked in that incident. They were parked nose to tail, and it looked like a parking lot jam up.
Well, this is going to be very interesting. We will go 28 laps, and the question is, can Pombo really capitalize on this great advantage that he has received here in lap number 1? We're already into the second lap of a 28-lap race.
Well, you know, Larry, these other guys behind him, they're drafting each other. They're pushing each other, and they're going to try to push their way right up to Pombo.
Now, on a street temporary course like this, you really lose a great deal of sensational speed. It is true these trucks are certainly not as quick, obviously, as the open-wheelers or as the Trans Am cars that will also compete here this weekend. But you have to realize how much is going on. It is a handful, even though it's not 100 miles an hour at every point around the racetrack.
Well, this track, sure, the average speed is slow, but you're working every mean, every square foot of this track, you're really working hard.
So Pepe Pombo is the early recipient of the biggest break here in the truck races this weekend at Des Moines, Iowa. The question remains, can he hold on to that advantage for the remaining 26 laps?
Hi, I'm Larry Smithson. You owe it yourself to try one of life's true luxuries, a professional chauffeured limousine ride from Smithson Limousine. And why choose Smithson Limousine? Selection and luxury. We have the biggest limo in town and the largest fleet in many styles and colors. And the best part is waiting inside. Our limousines are loaded with bar, TV, stereo cassette, VCR, sunroof, the works. Isn't it time you experience the fun of a Smithson Limousine? Call to reserve yours today.
If you're into good-looking trucks, then drive on into Pickup City USA and put your pickup, 4x4, or van in our hands. Come on in, take a look at our showroom of accessories, and talk to our staff. We'll show you just how much more you'll enjoy driving your vehicle. We've got it all, from toppers to running boards to suspension systems. Then it's on to our quick and expert installation, and you're on your way in style. Pickup City USA.
Financial security. To achieve it these days takes extra effort. At Brenton Banks, we understand. That's why when it comes to helping you achieve financial success, you'll find Brenton products, services, and our people make the extra effort it takes.
Extra effort expected from Brenton.
We anticipate an end to this full course yellow in just a few moments. Here is the top 10 at this point. Chuck Hemmingson, the hometown driver, in his Nissan leads. R.K. Smith is second. Tommy Archer third. In fourth, Pepe Pombo. Fifth is Bobby Archer. Then Steve Saline, Paul Brand, Mark Gurman, Don Markham, and Myron Kroll. Those are the top 10 cars. Now here is a replay as to why we are under this full course yellow.
Well, right here, it looks like Stewart gets into the tires, and he had a problem right behind him.
Yeah, Mark Dysart had nowhere to go and drove right underneath the elevated Stewart, who had smashed into the outside tire wall. The green flag is back out, and now we will see what we will see. That is to say, Hemmingson has been quick all weekend long. He's led this race since about lap number 3. R.K. Smith has been chasing. We are told he was closing, and then there is the ever-present Tommy Archer in truck number 33. Pepe Pombo runs fourth in truck number 7.
You know, Larry, Hemmingson really, if he was strong now, he'll be able to show it, you know, because after a caution is the time when you can really show the boys, okay, this is what I got, guys. Now let's run.
He is in a point to psychologically, even though we have, 12 laps to go, getting a little high there coming out of that final corner, make that corner number 7 is Myron Kroll, truck 77, and we have a big conflagration coming out of that turn.
Oh, Myron Kroll looked like he lost it there, and Markham got into him.
It actually started about one turn earlier, didn't it?
Yeah, actually, he was up against the wall, and he looked like that wasn't a problem. He got it straight, and then he got into the next corner, and around she went.
And he is sitting in a position coming out of turn number 6, I believe that is. And there you see Kroll. He slides into the outer wall, hits it with his tail. Then the number 9 truck of Scott Gaylord bounces off of him, almost touches him in the tail. And he comes to a stop.
Boy, when he got into that, Kroll really got into those tires big time. That was no lightweight shot there.
So Myron Kroll comes to a stop, and given where he's sitting, I really anticipate us going back to a full course yellow again.
Yeah, I think, well, unless he backs it out of there, which he's already at a truck, there's got to throw a yellow. That's in a real bad place, but you can already see, you know, Hemmingson is act like he wants to get home early tonight.
Very interesting. Chuck is really showing the speed here. And Tommy Archer has gotten around R.K. Smith. Tommy Archer now runs second. Now they come past the start-finish line at full song. There is no full course yellow, so we continue to race green. 10 laps to go in this 28-lap race.
You know, with that truck park there, it's going to be a real problem to get around that.
And now the yellow is out, Willie. Let me interrupt you. The yellow has come out, and the pace truck, be careful, it's not a pace car, is out and slows this field down, working on the 19th lap. So a full course yellow.
You know, Hemmingson looks real strong, Larry. I mean, he jumped out of the box, and he was getting getting right with it.
And here's Scott Gaylord. You saw him touch the back right rear quarters of Myron Kroll, and Chris Economaki standing by.
Well, Scott Gaylord has just been told to call it a day. His right front corner is all wrinkled. You can see the damage to the hood, so that had to be a hard hit for number 9 Nissan. And now they're jacking up, and he's going to be here a while.
So, Chris, this has turned out to be a race of attrition, but the question is, can Chuck Hemmingson, who was the fastest qualifier, the hometown boy, can he avoid that attrition and come home first here in his hometown of Des Moines?
Car Sound has installed more than 20,000 audio systems. They're the experts. Car Sound offers you radar detectors, alarm systems, audio systems by JVC, AudioVox, Jensen, Pile Driver, Alpha Sonic, Precision Power, AutoPage, and Whistler, and now Cellular One telephones. Car Sound has the trained personnel and special tools to fit your audio needs with the interior design of your car. After 20,000 installations, we're ready to install a system in whatever it is you drive. Come to where experience and low rates sound better. Call the professionals at Car Sound Installation.
Financial security. To achieve it these days takes extra effort. At Brenton Banks, we understand. That's why when it comes to helping you achieve financial success, you'll find Brenton products, services, and our people make the extra effort it takes.
SCCA Race Truck Challenge here at Des Moines. Here is the top 5. Chuck Hemmingson continues to lead. Tommy Archer in his Jeep is second. As a matter of fact, Jeeps are 3 of the top 5. R.K. Smith is third. Pepe Pombo fourth. And Bobby Archer is fifth. The 6th through 10th runner, Steve Saline, the man with a real handful in today's race. Ray Kong has come back to 7th position after making a pit stop. Paul Brandt is 8th. Mark Gurman is 9th. And Don Markham runs in 10th position. Short wheelbase, 4-cylinder engine, 5-speed transmissioned, 2-wheel drive trucks. And the fastest 2-wheel drive truck with 4 cylinders in the summer of 1989, at least in Des Moines, has been the man in the white truck there, Chuck Hemmingson.
He's been so strong, Larry, he needs band roll on. The guy from the time he woke up this morning, I don't even know if he took a shower. He is mean. He came here to race. He went in qualifying, was fastest in qualifying, and he's driving the race, and he's really, really smooth. I mean, he's not overrunning the truck. He's really going hard.
We're now up to 6 trucks that have dropped out of the race. Mark Dicer, saw he and Bob Stewart get involved in the crash earlier. Calvin Fish is out. Harvey Clark, Myron Kroll, you saw him hit the wall very hard with the right front and get hit in the tail by Scott Gaylord. And Gaylord was also knocked out in that incident.
Boy, Ray Kong, no, that's Pombo. Pombo's really fighting off, that looks like
R.K. It's R.K. Smith. Pepe Pombo has gotten around R.K. R.K. passed him earlier in the race, and Pombo is now back into the 3rd position. Willie, a little earlier, we were talking about tires. Tires really become a factor in this type of racing at this stage of the race.
I just learned something today. I learned something that you can't just lean on these tires relentlessly. You gotta run them hard, but if you overrun them, the thing will they'll start skating right off the road on you.
It's interesting, these trucks will use up a set of tires. There's just something about this type of racing that to be one of the really front runners, you have to squeal the tires just a little bit. But it's a thin line, isn't it, between spinning the tires or squealing tires and then doing it too much.
You know, when you get to a track, the first thing you want to do is really balance the car, and you want to balance the tires to the road. Well, you know, when you balance them, that's it. You know, they've set the limit, and, you know, when you start running over the tire limit, then you either blister them or run the good edge right off the tire.
Hemmingson, meanwhile, has picked up the pace just a little bit. He's up to about a 54.9 mile-per-hour lap. He obviously is paying a little bit of attention to Tommy Archer, but you can't do too much. When you're out front, the real key is to continue to be precise, and as much as is humanly possible, forget about the rearview mirror.
Well, you know, actually, Hemmingson might be playing the rearview mirror. He's looking how strong Archer is, and, you know, they're keeping the same distance, lap after lap, corner after corner. So, you know, Hemmingson might be playing, and they're into the final lap right now. So Hemmingson is really under control. He's watching what Archer's doing, and he's going to play it that way. If Archer gets steps up the pace, maybe he'll step up the pace a little bit.
So Tommy Archer runs second. Running third is the number 7 of Pepe Pombo. As you hear Hemmingson squealing out of turn number 2, heading down a short straightaway and going into turn number 3 around the box that breaks up your drive down 5th Street here in downtown Des Moines. These trucks are actually going due south. They go past the convention center, make a hard left. Now they're headed toward the river, which snakes its way through downtown Des Moines. They'll make one more turn to a small straightaway, one of 5 small straightaways on this course, and Chuck Hemmingson seems to have things well in hand.
You know, actually, Larry, it looks like on this last lap, Hemmingson has pulled out a little bit more of a cushion than he had a lap before. In fact, you know, the last lap for a leading race driver is ecstasy, man. You're driving really, really nice. You're leading the race. You know that, you know, you concentrate on not making any mistakes, and, you know, you just savor that last few corners home.
Chuck Hemmingson, the independent, racing against many of the factory-back trucks, is headed for victory here at Des Moines. Turn 11, turn number 12, and Chuck Hemmingson will soon be coming down the 5th straightaway to accept the checker flag to win here in Des Moines.
You know, Larry, when you cross that checkered flag first, you know, it's time to get those Yatta boys. Dan Gurney's got a saying, you know, when you win, you go to the local bar and get those Yatta boys.
Watch for Hemmingson to make a left-hand turn. Actually, is the final turn headed toward the checkered flag. Coming uphill now, past the pit from the main straightaway. The checkered flag is out, and Chuck Hemmingson, the hometown driver, wins for the first time in his career a race truck challenge event.
And he couldn't expect a better race to win.
Yeah, that's very true.
Making this your first win and him being at home is absolutely great.
The winner of this race truck challenge at the inaugural Grand Prix of Greater Des Moines is Chuck Hemmingson, hometown guy in the independent Nissan. The Jeep Comanche of Tommy Archer was second, Pepe Pombo was third, and 2 more Jeep Comanches of R.K. Smith and Bobby Archer were 4th and 5th. Chris is standing by with a very jubilant winner.
Hey, congratulations, Chuck. You were late at the beginning for our interview, but we finally get to talk to you now.
Sorry about that, Chris. We got a misunderstanding.
How tough was it?
Well, after that yellow, it was kind of tough. We were running real hot up to that point and everything, and I thought, man, the thing's going to be cooking. Everybody's going to be on top of me, but it cooled out. It cooled down. It just took right off and went good lap times again.
How important in your win was that first turn skirmish?
That was real important in the beginning, but then later I got away by myself, so I don't know. It might not have mattered.
Did you have any close calls during the day?
No, not really. I managed to get a jump on everybody every single time, and the only close call was when Steve Saline spun in the first lap, and then when the two, the Isuzu and the Nissan were hooked on each other and backing up the one straightaway, I almost ran into them.
Okay, have fun at the party tonight. Back to you, Larry.
Thanks, Chris. Hometown Chuck Hemmingson celebrates his first victory in his race truck challenge career. For Chris Economaki and Willie T. Ribbs, this is Larry Newberry reminding you to stay tuned to ESPN for all the greatest from the wide world of motor racing. So long, everyone.
Hi, I'm Chuck Hemmingson, and that's me winning the Des Moines Grand Prix Race Truck Challenge in my Nissan hardbody truck. You can drive a winner too when you buy a Nissan truck from the #1 team at Hummel's Nissan.
Now at Hummel's, you can drive out in a new Nissan Standard truck starting as low as $64.99, or save up to $2,000 on a King Cap 6-cylinder 4x4. And see the new Chuck Hemmingson Autograph Series truck now at Hummel's Nissan.
Get a great deal from Iowa's #1 Nissan dealer, Hummel's Nissan.
ESPN, the world's leader in motorsports coverage, presents Speed World. You know, for years, the state of Iowa was known for its proliferation of short dirt track ovals, but all that changes this weekend as SCCA moves to the streets of downtown Des Moines. It was 92 degrees at race time. It's been warmer than that all week long, and we expect that temperature to climb. The skies are hazy, and there is a slight chance of rain, but don't expect it. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Larry Newber. We are here in Des Moines for SCCA Super V Racing. You know, over the last 10 or 15 years, this has been the most direct stepping stone to kart IndyCar racing. So a lot of these drivers are really looking forward to the future. But here at Des Moines, Iowa, let me bring in Willie T. Ribbs, my colleague for today. We are on a street circuit, and all street circuits are, at best, temporary, and they're tough on equipment.
Well, Larry, before these guys get to Indy cars, they got a few problems here. This is 3 factors here that are going to come into play. It's a rough, tough track, the heat here, and the...
That machine.
Harold Heisman of Oslo Railway, one of 2 foreign drivers in today's Super B field, has won the pole position for the race in this car. But rather than being happy, he's concerned. A Super V is designed to ride 1 1/4 inches off the track. Because of the roughness, this car has been elevated 40%, and still I cannot get 2 fingers between the bottom of the car and the racetrack. At speeds to over 100 miles an hour, Heisman's hiney is only this far off the track, and as the car bottoms constantly at 100 miles an hour, you can understand his concern.
We'll be back with more on today's race, including a description of the course and the starting lineup after these words. Stay with us.
Car Sound has installed more than 20,000 audio systems. They're the experts. Car Sound offers you radar detectors, alarm systems, audio systems by JVC, AudioVox, Jensen, Pile Driver, Alphasonic, Precision Power, AutoPage, and Whistler, and now Cellular One telephones. Car Sound has the trained personnel and special tools to fit your audio needs with the interior design of your car. After 20,000 installations, we're ready to install a system in whatever it is you drive. Come to where experience and low rates sound better. Call the professionals at Car Sound Installation.
A new and exciting innovation in the car washing industry has come to Des Moines. Touchless of Hickman. We at Touchless get your car, truck, or van sparkling clean without ever touching it. Water and detergents are automatically dispensed at precise angles. Our new technology is designed to give you better results while we protect the finish of your vehicle. Our staff is here to help get your vehicle thoroughly clean, quickly and conveniently. We're open 7 days a week to serve you. Try the ultra-modern car wash. Touchless of Hickman, today.
Hi, I'm Max Holmes, and I want to talk to you about convenience. We've reopened our Oldsmobile facility downtown on 6th Avenue. It's a complete Oldsmobile dealership with a new car showroom, used car lot, service department, a body shop, and even a parts department. In fact, it's back just like it was before we moved to our new location at I-35 in Hickman. Why would we reopen downtown? It's simple. For a lot of our customers, it's just plain more convenient. And that's the way I like things.
Go for a joyride at the Iowa State Fair. Now 12 great days and nights, August 16th through the 27th. So come often for a good time every time.
Here is the starting lineup for today's Ruan Greater Des Moines Grand Prix, featuring the Super Vs through the streets of downtown Des Moines. On the pole from Norway is Harold Heisman. He outqualified everyone here to speed of better than 70 miles an hour. Kim Campbell, the Texan, starts alongside. In row number 2 is Stuart Crow and Robbie Groff, one of the favorites in Super Vs in 1989. In the 3rd row, his best qualifying effort ever in Super Vs, Dwayne May, and then Mark Smith. In row number 4, brother Mike Smith in car number 34, and then Chris Smith, no relation to Mark and Mike. In the 5th row on the inside is car number 2, John Brooks, and Jeff Davis is on the outside in his racing row. In the 6th row, car number 72 on the inside, Charles Nierberg from Dallas, Texas, and Lee Perkinson. In row number 7, Jim Clem and Ian Bland, and in the 8th row, cars number 80 and 99, Steve Thompson and Scott Liebler. In row number 9, Kenneth Skip Wells, and car number 27, John Schaller. In row number 10, side by side, are Mike Sauce and Tom Van Camp in car number 74. In the 21st and 22nd starting positions are Sean Milhauser and Jim Putnam, and the 12th row is Peter Pittman and Bill Schmick. And all alone in the 13th row from Streetsboro, Ohio, in the shadows of Youngstown, is Mark Deeper. The field will be rolling to turns number 9 and 10 at the end of this long straightaway, anticipating a yellow card. Green flag, they come uphill, crossing the start-finish line. The starter looks the field over, and the green flag is out, and darting to the lead as they go into turn number 1 is Kim Campbell.
Great start by Kim Campbell, Larry. He really timed that flag just right. He was on that power a little bit earlier than Heisman, and he took the lead.
You can see the the Super Vs are extremely nimble, and it's nothing for Super Vs to go 2 and 3 abreast, even through a tight street court like here in Des Moines.
It looked like Heisman got passed by Stuart Crow just in the first, going down in turn 2. So Heisman right now is having a little bit of trouble getting grip.
And Mark Smith is the driver running in fourth, and now moving to the inside is Crow. Crow gets around Kim Campbell as they enter turn number 5. Stuart Crow is the brand new race leader. Campbell not giving up, though. He looks to the inside of Crow as they go into the next right-hander.
Great start by Crow. Great start. He really came from third qualifying position right to the lead in a hurry.
And look at Campbell. Campbell is going to the outside, and Crow almost did not give him enough room, but there was just enough room. Now Campbell tries to switch back. He tries to get around Crow. Campbell and Crow putting on a great show here in just lap number 1 of 28 in the Super Vs.
Well, Stuart Crow is really hanging it out. I mean, he is going to the wall. And he's got Campbell right on, and Campbell's not giving up. He's not letting him get away. This first lap is outstanding.
Side by side for third was Mark Smith. He's in the green and white number 7, and the pole sitter, Harold Heisman. Mark Smith was by momentarily, but Heisman got him back. They're trading positions here on lap number 1. Nobody's status is safe here as we complete the first lap.
Man, these guys are driving, Larry, like they're on a dirt track. I mean, Stuart Crow's throwing it sideways, Campbell's throwing it sideways. Man, this is real Iowa type.
There is Mark Smith, Willie. He goes back into third. That green and white car. Mark Smith puts away pole sitter Heisman, and Heisman drops back to 5th.
Heisman looks like he's got a problem, Larry. He's just falling back too easily, too quick. There might be something wrong. Maybe he lost a gear, right, first or second gear, but he is real slow coming off the corner.
That's Robbie Groff, who is the next man to get around Heisman. Heisman, who surprised everyone by qualifying the fastest here this weekend, really had high hopes for this race here in Des Moines this week, but it's slipping away here in the very early stages. The number 7, that's Mark Smith. He started in 6th, and already he is running 3rd. He had a great start, but the man who had the best start of all was Stuart Crow. A lot of people felt that Stuart Crow might be the best candidate to become the champion of the Super Vs in 1989, but it hasn't worked out that way yet, but maybe he's turning things around.
You know, Larry, I flew out on the same plane with Stuart Crow from Dallas up here to Iowa, and I'll tell you, he got on the plane and he was pumped. He was in first class. He says, Ritz, he says, I'm ready, man. This is a new track. When I leave Iowa, I want to be a king.
Stuart Crow, Kim Campbell, and running in 3rd at the end of the first lap was the pole sitter Harold Heisman. He's dropped back. Now, car number 4, Ian Bland, was involved in an incident, and he gets upside down. You can see him there in the very back. Now, the driver, we are told, is okay, but we were watching the battle with Campbell and Heisman, and we missed Ian Bland going over the wheel of another competitor and getting upside down here in a street course. That's tough to do.
In an open wheel car, Larry, if you touch wheels, you can get up in the air, and it looked like Bland might have got on top of another wheel and pitched him up in the air.
Stuart Crow continues to lead. Campbell is second. The number 7 Rault of Mark Smith, one of the 2 Racing Smith brothers, drivers in their very early 20s from up in the Pacific Northwest. He runs in 3rd position. 4th is Robbie Groff, the son of Mike Groff. The son. Mike's not going to like me saying that. The younger brother of Mike Groff, who has done very well in open wheel racing in the country. And in 5th is Harold Heisman, who runs the Rault number 89. The vast majority of the cars, as a matter of fact, are Rault. All but 4 of our entries are Rault machines.
Financial security. To achieve it these days takes extra effort. At Brenton Banks, we understand. That's why when it comes to helping you achieve financial success, you'll find Brenton products, services, and our people make the extra effort it takes.
Extra effort expected from Brenton.
Your Central Iowa Chevy dealers invite you to take a power trip in full-size Chevy pickups that blow away the competition. In horsepower, better mileage, more room, more muscle. Move over, Ford. Central Iowa is taking the Chevy power trip. Take a look at Corsica, sporty hatchback style. V6 performance miles ahead of the rest. More interior room and trunk space and better mileage make Corsica your best compact buy. Take a look at Corsica today at your Central Iowa Chevy dealer.
If you're hankering for high energy even in Holland, see the Supernational Truck and Tractor Bulls, plus Monster Trucks August 23rd and 24th at the Iowa State Fair.
There was a time when the state of Iowa was only known for short, oval, dirt track racing, but all that has changed this weekend with this Greater Des Moines Grand Prix as we race through the streets of downtown Des Moines. The speed limits are normally around 25 miles an hour, but no such situation today. Rolling into the pits in car number 13.
Chris Smith.
Is Chris Smith. Chris Smith, one of the three racing brothers that have entered here today, and he has a problem as he stops early. Chris is standing by.
Okay, Chris Smith, one of the two brothers, is in, and this is a tough break for him because in a short race like this, a pit stop could kill all your chances of finding out. We're going to get a word with the crew chief and find out just what's wrong with this Volkswagen engine car. Remember, every car in this race has an identical power plant, and he's getting out of the car. He has had it. That's a tough break for the youngster from the coast. We'll get a word with him now. All from the gloves, who hasn't been out there too long.
Well, Chris Smith is one of a very few number of drivers
take it now.
who is trying to win a Super V race in something other than a Ralt. Chris, you have Mr. Smith standing by.
Yeah, I do. Pardon me, Chris, but what are you doing home so early?
We're having a little bit of a heating problem, and getting as hot as it was, I was afraid the engine was going to blow up, so we thought we'd just call it a day and save it for the next race.
What about the bumps? Heisman earlier said the track was so bumpy he was afraid about losing his car.
Yeah, it is very bumpy. It's the same for everybody. I think you just got to kind of stay on top of your car a little more than you would on a smoother track.
Better luck next time.
Thank you very much.
The last chassis other than a Ralt to win a Super V main event was Didier Tays in late 1986, and Chris Smith is campaigning a Griffith GR06, and the GR06 will not win today.
You know, Larry, if this track is rough, it's sure not bothering Stuart Crow. I mean, you know, you could see the car bouncing around like he's on a rodeo horse, but, you know, he's riding it, and he's doing real well. And I think he's got that attitude, go, blow, or put a hole in the fence.
Well, Stewart is trying to make up some lost ground because he's not had the most successful Super V season. He's had consistent top 10 finishes. He's finished in the top 6 for the 5 races, but a lot of people thought that with this factory-backed ride that Stuart Crow would be one of the real candidates for the championship, but so far that has not materialized. 3rd, 4th, and 5th. 3rd is Robbie Groff. 4th is Mark Smith.
You know, that's a great race between those two, Groff and Smith. You know, I really believe that that Smith is looking for a place to pass. He's looking for a setup zone. You know, that's what you got to do. You got to look for where you can get by safely.
Car number 48 of Peter Pittman that comes to a stop. This is not a race that is conducive to pit stops. You make one stop and your chances for victory are absolutely gone. And Peter Pittman is the second driver in the last couple of seconds to pull in here as the battle out on the racetrack continues to rage. Robbie Groff holding on to 3rd position.
You know, as I mentioned, a setup zone for race drivers where you try to plan ahead to get past the driver ahead of you. You know, you want to set up, come onto a straightaway fast on a preferably a long straightaway, and draft him and try to pick a corner where, you know, okay, now you saw Groff lock up his brakes, and Smith saw that, so Smith's going to try to pressure him, maybe lock him up some more, and then set him up and pass him off a long straight. I don't know, there's about half a dozen corners here that you can really get a good shot on another driver.
You're looking at 1st and 2nd in 1989 Super V points, at least to this point in the season. First place is Robbie Groff, who leads Mark Smith on the track right now, and he is 2nd in points. And Mark Smith has got to be thinking, hey, I have gotten Groff to worry. He's thinking about me and maybe thinking more about me than going straight ahead. Well, we'll be back with more from the Super V contest through the streets of downtown Des Moines after these words, where Stuart Crow continues to lead.
Financial financial security. To achieve it these days takes extra effort. At Brenton Banks, we understand. That's why when it comes to helping you achieve financial success, you'll find Brenton products, services, and our people make the extra effort it takes.
Extra effort expected from Brenton.
It's time you heard the truth about Chevy S10. The Chevy S10 has a bigger engine than Ranger. The S10 has more horsepower than Ranger and a bigger trailering capacity than Ranger. Chevy S10 gets better mileage than Ranger, and the S10 has more cargo capacity than Ranger. Once you weigh the facts, it's easy to see why, in Central Iowa, Chevy S10 outsells Ford Ranger. See your Central Iowa Chevy dealer. You'll have a change of heart to Chevy S10.
There's so much to see and do at the fair that you can't do it all in just one day. So come often, August 16th through the 27th, for a good time every time.
Under the second full course yellow here at the downtown Des Moines, the Greater Des Moines Grand Prix, where the Super V's are getting all set to go back under green flag. Stuart Crow continues to lead this race, and here's what happened. It was precipitated by Tucson, Arizona's John Brooks.
You know, Brooks got in. This was right after the green flag. Brooks got in. Tires a little bit cool, and it wasn't a bad crash, but it was bad enough to choke the corner up and leave everybody looking for a hole to go through.
Meanwhile, we're back to green, and there is a red car leading this race. Does that mean that Kim Campbell has jumped out of the lead? What has happened to our leader, Stuart Crow? There he is in fourth. Stuart Crow with an absolute disastrous start.
It looked like he was caught off guard, Larry. You know, Kim Campbell was waiting, and Stuart, I don't know if the heat was bothering him or what, but he was caught off guard. But he looked like he's back on it right now, and he's giving Heisman a run.
What a change of events here. Running now in second is Mark Smith. Harold Heisman, our fastest qualifier, runs third, and there is Stuart Crow. An almost unbelievable turn. We didn't see the restart. The cars come up over the hill, and you can't see what goes on down at the bottom, but apparently SCCA officials left the restart stand, and look at Crow. He is angry.
Oh, Crow, he's got the bit in his mouth right now. He knew that he was a little bit asleep there, and he's charging like a wild bull now.
Stuart Crow in the third car in line. It's a dark blue number 3. There's the leader, Kim Campbell. Kim Campbell, we told you he's won an ARS race. He's been active on open wheelers, and Stuart Crow spins. He does a 360, tries to get it back in gear, drops it in the first gear, reaches for the throttle, stands on it, moves up the second gear, and Stuart Crow just eliminated himself from this race.
Yeah, Stuart lost a lot of positions there. He didn't hit anything, but he lost a lot of positions, and there's not a whole lot of time left in the race. And Campbell, playing it cool, has gotten in the lead, and he looks like he's leading quite comfortably.
What an unfortunate set of events that have just fallen on to Dallas, Texas, Stuart Crow. Now here is the restart coming out of the last corner. They'll be going uphill. This is turn number 12. Now uphill to the green flag.
Oh my God! It looked like Stuart the car popped out of gear. He just lost power, or he wasn't planning on what had happened, and he was way off of it, and everybody else was on it.
Everybody else was absolutely ready, and Stuart tried to protect his position. You saw him turn to the left, and he realized that was not really the wisest thing to do, so he straightened the car back up and tried to get going as quickly as he could, but it was too late. And then about 5 or 6 turns later, Stuart Crow lost it, did a 360, and dropped back to about the 9th position.
You know, Larry, Crow might have been looking for a lower gear to go up the hill with, and while he was trying to select that gear, couldn't get it and lost power.
And Campbell spins. Our leader, Kim Campbell, loses it as he enters turn number 8. Now this is going to move Harold Heisman up close to the front, and I believe that the number 3 car, or make that the number 5 car, Robbie Groff, will also be close, but the leader becomes Mark Smith. So Mark Smith sees 2 leaders drop out in front of him in the space of a lap and a half.
Smith and Heisman are 1-2, and just by being cool. I mean, they were quick off the mark, but they really.
Willie, here's the spin on behalf of Campbell. He just fries it too hot going into that corner.
You know, Larry, this track is breaking up, and it's really easy. The track is slick, it's breaking up, it's got oil, it's got rocks and marbles, and you have to really be cool.
Mark Smith, who is leading the race. Heisman is there in second, and running third is Robbie Groff in the orange and blue, number 5. Groff and Smith easily have been the two most consistent drivers in Super V racing this season. Mark Smith, your current leader, has 2 wins, 2/3, and a 4th, while Robbie Groff, the current points leader, running in third on the racetrack, has 2 wins, 2 seconds, and a 4th. And the difference is the 2 seconds of Groff versus the 2/3 of Smith that have kept him out of the lead.
You know, Stuart Crow hasn't backed off. You know, you see Crow, he had a spin, but that's not putting him off. After that spin, I think that he decided, okay, let me settle down a little bit, man. I still got some race left, and he is pushing right out to the wall. I mean, locking him up, power sliding. Really, he's trying very, very hard.
Now, there are some forms of racing in that you just cannot get away with that, but the Super Vs have just that interesting ratio of power to weight that you can get away with sliding around.
In an Indy car, in a GTP car, you can't do it. The ground affects the wide tires. You know, as soon as you start kicking it sideways like that, it'll kick you right off the track. So with the Super Vs, with the narrower tires and these slow corners, you can power slide through these corners and not have too much of a problem. But still, as Jackie Stewart would say, that's not the fastest way around the course.
And it's first, second, third, fourth, and fifth, so it's still very close. Crow has an outside chance, but I don't really think that he has enough time to catch Mark Smith. And Mark has been so consistent not only in this race, but all year long. I don't think Mark's been given that opportunity. There's Crow going to the inside of Dwayne May, and Stuart Crow now moves back up to 4th. The early race leader has recovered from a very poor restart and a spin, and is now recapped 4th.
You know, you got to really hand it to Stewart. I mean, he is trying hard. I mean, the guy is not, he's driving 110%. You know, and he knows that the odds of him winning are not as great as it was earlier, but he's still driving like he's in first place.
Stuart Crow going after Northridge, California's Robbie Groff. Robbie is the brother, as we told you earlier, of Mike Groff. Mike, of course, is one of the stalwarts of open-wheel single-seater racing in North America. And there is Crow. He finds the way around Robbie Groff, and Crow picks up one more position. So Stuart Crow has ascended back to 3rd. A great drive for this 30-year-old driver from Dallas, Texas.
An awesome display of car control, Larry. I mean, you know, he's breaking in far deeper than the other drivers. You know, for one reason, he knows he's got to do it.
And Dwayne May has just gone past Groff, and Dwayne May moves up to 4th. That will be his best finish ever if he can hold on to that.
Well, this is one of May's best qualifying and finishes. He's really right up to the front, and you can look at Smith right here in the camera and Heisman. Heisman is right up on Smith right now.
Mark Smith, the student currently enrolled at the University of Oregon and a former Eagle Scout, is trying to hold on to the lead as we go back to look at 11th and 12th position there. Make that, now we are told that the number 72 car is running in 7th position. I did not think that was accurate, and now we are told differently that the aqua-colored car of Charles Nierberg, he did lose at least a lap in that traffic jam that we had, and Nierberg right now is running with Skip Weld, and they are well back into the field.
You know, as the race winds down, you can see Heisman. Heisman knows how many laps are left, and Smith, he knows he's got to get past one man to win this race, and that's Smith. Smith knows he's got to keep one man back, and that's Heisman. So that, and they don't have a third man to interrupt their race. So Heisman, he doesn't have to look in the mirror. All he has to do is concentrate on Smith, who's in front of him, and you know, they're driving right to the limit, right into every corner, Larry.
12 turns, 1.8 miles around. There's Stuart Crow. The car number is 3. The position on the track is 3 and Crow. Unless we go to a full course yellow here in the last 3 laps, he will not win this race. It is going to be decided between Mark Smith in car number 7 and Harold Heisman, who sat at the pole in car number 89. And of course, we've seen an awful lot of happenings in this Super V race, and it's always possible leaders might take themselves out, but I don't think so.
A lot of race drivers, when they race, like to get into this position. With a lap to go, you know, it's between you and second place. Third place really doesn't have much of a chance unless you crash each other out of the race. But you can see Heisman's putting the pressure on Smith. He's giving him a look in the mirror. Here aggression and off his rhythm.
A right-hander, another right-hander, they'll be coming up on a left-hander as they come out of the 5th Street box, as we call it. There's another short straightaway after this left-hander, and to a second left-hander. Heisman will try and set him up.
Larry, you can see Smith is real cool. He knows Heisman is breathing all over him like a gorilla, but he's real cool under pressure.
Halfway around the left-hander, there are 3 straightaways left, and a couple of, there are 3 tight corners, 4 tight corners, and 3 straightaways. Down the straightaway, Smith seems to get a little bit of an advantage. This is one of 3 that he's knocked down. We'll have a quick 2 left-handers and then another straightaway.
Oh, and Smith has pulled out a nice little cushion, Larry, nice cushion. With a half a lap to go or less, to have that kind of cushion is great. You know, the man is a little bit smaller in your mirrors, and you know if you make a little bobble, he can't get past you.
23 years of age in the person of Mark Smith, 22 years of age versus 30-year-old Harold Heisman. This is the 4th long straightaway. That is the 2nd Avenue straightaway. There's just one hard left-hander. He makes the left-hander. He heads for the finish line. And Mark Smith is going to win this one. He executes a perfect lap on his 28th lap. Stuart Crow, after a terrific drive, is going to come home in 3rd place. He waves to the crew and says, I think I may have screwed that one up, but I'm sure happy with what I did anyway.
Oh, Smith showed a lot of maturity, Larry. He watched all the carnage in front of him, and he was cool under pressure.
That was a little more right after these.
Financial security. To achieve it these days takes extra effort. At Brenton Banks, we understand. That's why when it comes to helping you achieve financial success, you'll find Brenton products, services, and our people make the extra effort it takes.
Extra effort expected from Brenton.
Your Central Iowa Chevy dealers invite you to take a power trip in full-size Chevy pickups that blow away the competition. In horsepower, better mileage, more room, more muscle. Move over, Ford. Central Iowa is taking the Chevy power trip. Take a look at Beretta. Better V6 performance than Chrysler LeBaron. More legroom and seating than Toyota Celica. Better mileage than Ford's Tempo or Probe. Take a look at your best sporty compact buy. Beretta from your Central Iowa Chevy dealers.
The Knoxville Raceway, sprint car capital of the world and home of the Nationals, brings you another season of exciting racing. Every week you can be part of the action of sprint car racing at Knoxville Raceway. Hot laps begin at 7:30, races start at 8. Be there just for the fun of it, all summer long.
This Saturday's race brought to you by KNIA.
Our pole setter from Oslo, Norway, Harold Heisman finishes 2nd, and Stuart Crow from Texas, after a great drive, nets 3rd. Dwayne May, best career finish in a Super V, is 4th, and 5th was Robbie Groff. 6th through 10th, James Brooks, Jim Clem, John Schaller, Mike Sauce, and Charles Neerberg. So for the first time in history, the streets of downtown Des Moines have been opened up to race cars, and the people here have made the racing fraternity feel extremely welcome this year. It is now history, the first of a 3-year contract, and be rest assured all of motor racing will be back in 1990. But for the number 7 car of Mark Smith, he has a most successful weekend. For Chris Economaki and Willie T. Ribbs, this is Larry Newber, thanking you for joining us and saying stay tuned to ESPN for all the greatest from the world of motor racing.